Good morning. It's the VSA 5 Minute Morning Miner, and it's Wednesday, the 28th of May. And it's me, David Scriven, with Paul Rankin, as Andrew is in Cornwall on a mine site. So, Paul, good day to you. How are you?
No, very well, thanks. Very well, and the sun is shining. That's good for Andrew's trip.
That is true. Anyway, sir, perhaps we can launch into Jubilee Metals, and I understand that they released a Zambian projects update, and rather interesting in terms of their success on the Rowan concentrator and its implications.
Yes, that's right. The update on their Zambian projects there, and specifically, they're chasing after copper, primarily there in Zambia. And what they gave was what their target rates are concerning the Roan and the Munkoya deposits in the Roan concentrator. And specifically, they are targeting to produce 288 tons per month of copper units and stepping up for the production rate to 400 tons per month of copper units from August. So, with those two operations combined, they should become a rather significant copper producer then in Zambia as a result, with those things operating at this point. The Munkoya mining operations mining rate of ore is about 80,000 tons a month, and about 3,500 tons of which is a higher grade run of mine material at better than 2.5% copper. They have also identified some non-core assets in Zambia that they have begun selling off, of which one in particular was waste assets outside the large copper tailings for consideration of $12.3 million US payable in tranches over the next 20 months. So, with these things going here, let's keep an eye on what their cash flows, how fast their cash flows might be able to grow based on the Zambian out.
Indeed, and I think when you also talked about the Rowan concentrator, it also has implications for their credibility and success and confidence because of their large waste projects which they've got as well. So to be able to do that, but let's move on to our uh, corporate client EQ Resources and your comment on that.
Yes, on that one, EQ being a ASX listed tungsten miner in Australia and Spain, they have opened a shareholder rights a share purchase plan, and that is for their southern hemisphere shareholders, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore specifically. They're looking to raise another $3 million Australian before costs at an issue price of 3.5 cents per share. That is the same price as was offered in the recent successful $18.8 million placement. That any shareholder can take up to Australian $30,000 worth of shares, and the offer price is a 16% discount to the 5 day VWAP over the past week. They did also say that they would consider over allotments being filled as well. So be sure to get those listeners, be sure to get orders in for what you are interested in as opposed to what you feel you might be limited to.
Yeah, we certainly encourage that because there aren't a wide range of opportunities to be able to get exposure to tungsten. So definitely, we'd be encouraging that. And perhaps moving on from here, maybe you could kindly throw some light on the Q1 financial results released by Thor exploration in the context of Nigeria gold production.
Yes, that's right. It's a record quarter for them, both in output as far as ounces are concerned on a year basis, but also in revenues, which are up almost 200% because of the much higher gold prices. 22,750 ounces were sold based on 22,600 ounces. Um, uh, Recovered at a rate of 93.7%. That was 22,750 ounces sold. Average gold price received was $2,720 per ounce US. That's up over 700 or almost $700 an ounce from the first quarter last year. Cash costs rose up to $711 per ounce sold. All in sustaining costs also rose to US $950 per ounce. Those are attributable to the fact that the open pit is much deeper, so the stripping ratios are higher, and the haulage distances are higher as well, even though the plant is close by the open pit. Net income was 34.4 million, so that's almost 200% higher than a year ago. They made no particular changes in guidance for the remainder of the year, and the ore grade is holding pretty steady at about 2.4 grams per ton gold.
Very good. If there are no other thoughts that you'd like to bring to the table here, perhaps we'll call it a day because we're on time. Any other thoughts you'd like to add?
That's all for me today.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Very good.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.